Now batting for the New York Yankees, the shortstop, number 2.
Welcome back. This is episode 92 of the NYYST Podcast, presented to you by NYYSportsTalk.com. I am your host, Christian. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, the Grinch.
The Grinch?
Yeah, I mean, we're only a few days away from Christmas, and you...
And I'm the happiest I've ever been.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
You want to know why?
Nope. And Stat Guy Rye.
Yo.
What's
you want to
up?
know why?
What up?
Because you're here, bro.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate
You're a
that.
mean one.
Mr. Chris.
Mr. Chris.
Even though I did such a nice thing for your wife today, and she was very mean
You got
about
her
it.
munchkins. She doesn't even like munchkins. You know who's going to eat all those?
The kids.
Jack.
You.
Me?
You're
Oh, definitely eating a lot of them.
You know, you should really send some munchkins to
Stat Guy Rye?
munch.
You should have.
Come on, bro.
Should have sent munchkins to munch.
Yeah, but do they have Dunkin' Donuts in Cleveland? I
They got
don't know.
munch-
Are we going to take a trip to Cleveland this year?
We'll see what happens.
I think we really should if we can find the time.
We'll see what
And
happens.
maybe hop on in studio with Munch.
That would be interesting.
Ooh.
I don't think he likes you, though.
He loves me.
Well, I've tried. There's been times when I've been busy. Like, I was at a wedding, and he wanted, and the Yankees were playing the Indians on Saturday night, and he wanted me to do the Indians pregame, and I was like, well, Chris isn't doing anything right now. And he's like, no, I'll just catch you next time.
Yeah.
Wow. That's messed up. No, it's because you do a really good job on the show, and he doesn't want to talk to anyone else when it comes to the Yankees.
No, it must be Christmas because he's saying positive things about me.
Just trying to warm you up because I'm going to need a favor in a couple days. So.
I'm sure you are. You always need favors from me, but I can never ask you for a favor.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have Ken Davidoff of the New York Post on in a little bit. Talk some Yankees, what their moves have been and may continue to be as the offseason continues to progress. So the Manny Machado tour stopped in Philadelphia today. We're recording Thursday night. He met with Chicago, right, on Monday. Then he was with the Yankees yesterday and the Phillies today. Somebody said he was taking 6 meetings. He narrowed it. He finally said there's no mystery teams. I'm just doing the White Sox, Yanks, and Phils. So now that he's met with everybody, it's time to make a decision. Where do you want to play?
Hey, everyone's expecting the Phillies to come in the highest. They made it known they're going to spend stupid money this offseason. If that number is that ridiculous, could we know where Manny Machado is by tomorrow? I mean, could that be a possibility?
Maybe.
I think so. I absolutely think so.
Well, the Phillies already snaked one player from the Yankees, and, maybe they'll snake another.
I'd actually be dead on if they do, because I said last week that the Phillies scare me with him.
They did the unthinkable. They have signed a beloved Yankee.
I reported it weeks ago.
I'm trying to bait you into this.
Shane Robinson.
Shane Robinson is going to the Phillies.
Shane Robinson met with the Phillies for 4 hours today? Or that was...
It took the Phillies GM 4 hours to find him on Wikipedia and be like, oh, that guy.
This guy, how many games did he play for the Yankees
Wait a minute. They had Aaron Judge and this guy played. We got to sign him.
No, what I was saying was I reported it weeks ago that the Phillies were going to sign Manny Machado.
Oh, you reported it.
I reported it weeks ago. I said it first.
Okay.
All
right. You said it first.
I said it first. Actually, I want to just bring something up real quick because I want to give you a little more credit. Okay. I was listening back to some older episodes of ours from a couple months ago. I have to pull it up for you at some point. Out of your mouth, Christian, you said, imagine if Brian Cashman had a burner account and he saw all these tweets from all these fans and everything. And I'm sitting there going, he probably does now. If that report was true that he has a burner.
No, he confirmed it. Cashman says that he does have a burner.
Are we sure he confirmed that?
Yes, that came out of his mouth. That he said he has a burner account. He doesn't ever tweet. He just follows people in baseball.
So maybe you have a little inside information then.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe you knew this.
I broke that story. I reported it.
You
first.
reported that weeks ago.
Months. So, from what I'm hearing, it seems like the White Sox are third, and then it's going to come down to money or where he wants to play. If he wants to be a Yankee, he's not going to get as much money as he's going to get from the Phillies.
I'm going to disagree with you. I think that the Yankees are going to give him more than we think they are. I think they're going to offer him more than we think, even if that means they have to come up and either match the Phillies or come a little closer to what the Phillies offer. I'm telling you right now, the Yankees are going to do it.
If the Phillies are going to give him a stupid contract, the Yankees are not matching it.
I actually think, even though I was just saying that the Phillies are going to spend stupid money, that's what they said, whatever, I think the White Sox, to your point last week, could be the highest bidders, but they'd have to really be astronomically higher than both the Phillies and the
$500 million.
Because he does not want to play in Chicago.
No,
they have to be astronomically higher for him to take that deal.
Because you got to think about it. You're 26 years old. You're entering like the real prime of your career. You have a chance to go to a team that won 100 games last year and is one of the 3 best teams in Major League Baseball. Or you can go to the Phillies, who, they kind of faded a little bit down the stretch, but they have a really good, young, solid team there.
They have a bright future, yeah.
Or you can go to the White Sox,
who I think has a bright future also. However, signing Manny Machado ruins that for me. So I personally think signing Manny Machado kills their future.
I don't know if it kills it. I don't know how you can say that signing Manny Machado kills your future.
Because I don't think that's with the way the White Sox are building themselves right now, to blow an astronomical amount like they're going to have to do to get him. You're really handcuffing yourself at that point when you really need to go out and get some pitchers.
They have pitchers. Their rotation is pretty set going forward. These guys are all young, under team control. They just didn't have good years last year.
But what I'm saying is when you start to progress down the road and a few years from now when the White Sox are being taken seriously, you're going to need to go out there and sign a couple big names.
You just said it yourself. A few years from now, the Yankees and Phillies are being taken seriously today.
Right. So what I'm saying is, signing Manny Machado, does that make you feel confident that today the White Sox can win the World Series?
If the White Sox sign Manny Machado, I would think that they would finish in 4th place this year,
right,
instead of 5th.
That is my exact point.
There's 5 teams in the NL Central. Mm-hmm. Can I pick a bone with you here? Mm-hmm. Seriously, I got a problem with you. With you, yeah.
Yeah.
You came on this show when we brought you into the fold here. What was the name we gave you? What was your name? What is your name? What do I introduce you as? Stat guy.
Once we gave him the name, that was it. That's all he needed.
What stats do you bring to the table? You don't even have your phone out.
All he needed was the name.
You have a title now. You do impersonations. Every time I see a tweet about
impersonation guy, Ryan.
Oh yeah,
that guy, Ryan.
Ryan's funny. We love Ryan.
Yeah, that's
so much.
That's every rating and review he gets. Guardy
But
reports.
the initial start of NYY Sports
People
Talk,
change.
we stuck you in the corner to look up stats.
People change.
And now we gave you a seat at the table, and you feel like you don't have to do your job anymore.
It's the off season.
It's going to be back to the kids' table for you.
Fine, put me back at the kids' table. They have better food over there.
Ooh, chicken fingers and fries.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Certainly.
If you're the New York Yankees, what deal are you putting on the table?
8 for $280.
That's my exact deal also, but I have a little twist.
Actually, what I said was 8 for $275, but it doesn't work out even.
$35 million you want to give him a year.
Yeah.
That's exactly why I went there. Tell me if you think this makes it a little sexier for Manny Machado. Player option after 4 years.
Oh, there's no doubt there's going to be an opt-out.
Because think of it this way.
Built into this contract.
Manny's biggest reason for not wanting to go, for wanting a 10-year contract, is going to be obviously to extend the years through his prime, because when that contract's over, he's 36. That's going to be it. But if you want to give him 8, the only way you make that attractive enough is A, paying him about $35 million a year, but B, giving him an opt-out, giving him an option there when he's about 30 years old, where if he's still performing, he can still, if he's performing very well up to that point at 30 years old, he can still get a big time 6-year deal somewhere else.
That's why I don't think it was so crazy what Michael Kay said a few weeks ago. Put
the 5 years
and $200 million in front of him. You pay him for his prime years. You give him that $40 million a year. You overpay for it, but then you don't have to worry about the back end of the contract.
But the only problem with that is that if he decides with my deal, he has the option to get out of it at the age of 30 when he's still young.
So give him an opt-out after 3 years.
And evaluating himself of if he was still performing. The problem with the 5 years is that that's it for him. So
at
if
31, he can still get a big
31, he would
contract.
still get a decent contract. But if he's not the Manny Machado that got that deal at the time, he's not going to get many years after that, and it's not going to be that much money.
Do you think the whole they really haven't brought this up this offseason, the whole Manny Machado wants to play shortstop, is that going to play a part?
I think that's out the window, to be honest.
Or is it just, I'm going to take whoever gives me the most money? I'll play left field.
You know, Alex Rodriguez wanted to be a shortstop too, and how'd that work when he got to
I
the
think
Yankees?
that's out the window at this point. But funny enough, because Machado gets such a bad rap for, how he acts on the field, and he's dirty this, and he's a scumbag, and so on and so forth. I actually think Manny Machado is one player right now that would take less money to be on a team that he truly wants to play for. And I think that's why the Yankees have a little bit of an edge, but they can't get blown out of the water. There's going to be a cutoff where Manny says, all right, I'm just an idiot if I don't take that contract just to play
if
for
the Yankees
Yankees.
offer him 8 for $280, like we're saying, and the Phillies offer him 10 at $370.
I still think he would take the Yankees at that point.
Yeah, but you're saying that there's going to come a point where the money's going to be there's going to be such a gap in between the money where you'd be an idiot for not taking it, and $90 million is that type of gap.
Yeah, I think we'll know the answer to that when he signs, because there's, in my opinion, there's no way the Yankees end up offering him the most money out of these 3 teams.
No, I think they're going to offer him the least.
Yeah,
but they have to be competitive.
Yeah,
and if they're competitive with it, then I think that, and I think Manny's at the point in this whole thing right now, and his agents and whatever, where whatever contract they get, they're gonna try and get the Yankees to at least come close or match it. So it's not going to be one of those things where the Phillies or the White Sox steal him. I think the Yankees are still going to get the opportunity, and if the Yankees don't end up signing him, it was simply that Cashman just didn't want him that bad.
Yeah, like Patrick Corbin.
Patrick Corbin was stolen, you're saying?
No, I'm saying that was a guy the Yankees just didn't want that bad because he was offered a ridiculous contract and they weren't willing to match it, which I could see that happening with Machado.
I'm completely indifferent to them signing him because on one end, it's like, that they're a better team with Manny Machado. He's one of where do you want to put him? 5, 7, 10 best players in baseball?
Yeah.
I personally, as far as position, we're just talking strictly position players.
Yeah.
I put him top 3.
So he's a top 3 player in the game?
Yeah, but just because of... And hold on. As a third baseman, top 3.
Oh, yeah, as a shortstop.
As a shortstop, he's just about top 10. But as a third baseman, because of how great he is at third, I put him as a top 3 player in baseball.
I'll never get over that play I saw him made at Yankee Stadium. He's practically in the stands playing third base, and he throws a guy out by like 4 feet.
And I think it was Ronald Torreyes.
Yeah, I think
it wasn't Ronald Torreyes. It was back in.
Well, he made a great play on Torreyes.
Sure he did.
It was a guy who had some speed too. Like you were kind of shocked he made it, but right to something that you just said, where Manny's going to get a ridiculous contract. I don't really think there's a ridiculous contract out there for him, unless you're telling me a team's going to offer him 10 for 450 or 500. That's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. But I think everyone's going to be within the 35 to $38 million range.
No, I think so too.
That's still ridiculous. You drop
not
10
ridiculous.
for 380.
Yeah,
that is.
Yeah, but because of
ridiculous.
his age, it's really not that bad. If we're talking about a guy who we just said is a top 3, top 5
you're
player
paying
in the
guy
game.
$38 million a year to play baseball. That's ridiculous.
Well, in the grand scheme of things, it's all ridiculous.
Right. Yeah. The whole every aspect.
But given reality of what these guys get paid, it's really not that ridiculous. I think that if Manny's going to be greedy, then he's not going to be a New York Yankee. If he's willing to work with the Yankees a little bit because of how bad he wants to be here, he'll be in pinstripes next year.
But going back to what I said about being indifferent towards them signing Machado, yeah, obviously he's a upgrade. He makes the team better, but at the same time, this is not an area of need for the Yankees. You argue with people on Twitter, could you not need Manny Machado? Because you don't. I don't care how great he is. When you have Miguel Andujar and Didi Gregorius playing the two positions that Manny Machado plays, you don't need him. He's a luxury for the Yankees.
I just feel like they're at a point now where they want to add another big bat. And I thought that big bat was going to be a lefty in Bryce Harper, but clearly they're on a different path here. And I think the Yankees have their eyes set on this guy.
But do they need to add a bat to this lineup?
It's not necessarily a need. It's more of he's there. He's there, and they have the money to spend right now. Why are you not going to be competitive when Manny Machado's on the market?
I'm not saying that they shouldn't be competitive towards trying to sign him. What I'm trying to say is that this is not a need for the Yankees where I'm going to come away and say, damn, they needed Manny Machado to become a World Series team.
No, absolutely not.
Long-term wise, they're set up, but short-term wise, sure, it is a need. They don't have a shortstop right now.
All right.
But long-term, you're absolutely right.
So why don't you go out there and sign somebody like, you can get Neil Walker, you can get Adeiny Echeverria, you can get Iglesias, or we just saw that Daniel Murphy is going to sign with the Rockies. But these guys are out there that can plug holes. Even though I don't want Murphy, I'm glad that he's not going to be on the table for the Yankees. But I'm just saying, there's guys that can plug this hole for a couple months where you don't need to spend $35 million a year on a guy that you don't really need. Because then think about it, it's going to create a domino effect. He's going to come back. Didi's going to come back, and what are you going to do with Miguel Andujar? Because if you have Machado on this team, your best team now becomes Machado at third base and Didi at shortstop.
It's exactly
because you can't play Didi anywhere else. Didi's not going to become a third baseman.
You want to know what I would like? I want them to give Andujar another year, see if he's showing any improvement defensively. If not, you trade him for a pitcher in the offseason, or you go out and sign a Bumgarner and you sign Nolan Arenado next year.
Okay, I don't have.
You give Andujar another year, see if his defense improves. If not, Nolan Arenado, 2020.
I just think it all comes back to what I just said. He's on the table. He's available, and you're not going to sit here and tell me that the New York Yankees are not going to try and get a guy like Manny Machado. They're just not. But in the interview, which you'll be hearing shortly with Ken, I brought up the fact that what you just said, Christian. In my head, whether it be this year, next year, the Yankees have to feel that they don't see a future with Andujar, because if they're truly serious about extending Didi and you're going to pay all this money to Machado, where does Andujar fit? Where?
Ken brought it up, and like you said, we're going to play the interview in a few minutes, that he could possibly switch to first base. Personally, I don't see it. I don't see how Miguel Andujar is going to become a first baseman.
I don't either. And here's something that everyone just doesn't even think about when talking about all that. What if Luke Voit is a superstar?
What if Greg Bird finally puts it together?
Right. What? So what? They're going to become superstars. Now you're like, oh boy. Now what are we going to do with Andujar?
And you listen to sports talk radio, and people are like, well, you play with Machado and Andujar until Didi gets back, and then you trade Andujar. You don't want to make a trade like that in season. You don't want to disrupt the chemistry of your team in the middle of the season, trading a key piece like Miguel Andujar off your team. That's a type of trade that has to happen in the offseason.
I agree with you, but I still see that happening if the right player becomes available.
The right player is not going to become available in the middle of the season, because tell me the ace level pitcher that's going to become available to the Yankees in the middle of the season.
Madison Bumgarner.
And you're not trading Miguel Andujar for 2 months of Madison Bumgarner.
You might.
You're not going to.
You might, man.
Bumgarner.
You might.
You know what? Brian Cashman should lose his job if he makes that trade.
I disagree.
It's absolutely a ridiculous
What if
trade.
they win the World Series?
I'll be happy. He should still lose his job over it, because that's just a dumb trade.
It's not.
You don't trade because think about it. If he's hitting to the level he was hitting last year, now you got a year and a half of this guy being a legitimate major league hitter, and you're going to trade him for a rental. I said it 100 times on this show in the past. You don't trade legit players for rentals. You trade your prospects for rentals. So if you could get Kluber straight up in the middle of the season, that's a little bit different. For Miguel Andujar, I'm still going to have control over Corey Kluber. I'm still going to have control over Trevor Bauer. Or if some crazy thing happens and Noah Syndergaard becomes available, you can't trade a legitimate established major leaguer for a rental. You can't do it.
What if he's hitting 250 at the?
You're probably not getting.
Then you're probably not getting Bumgarner for him
for a rental though.
Yeah, you might. Yeah, you really. You know what? If Andujar's having a bad year, the Giants will still take something for him. If you're talking, the Giants are being offered a bunch of prospects that they don't know from other teams, that they don't know what they're capable of at the major league level, or a Miguel Andujar who has proven how good he could be and he's just not having as good of a season, you're taking Miguel Andujar.
And who says the Giants even want Miguel Andujar? They have a third baseman. What the hell are they going to do with Evan Longoria?
Oh, they'll just make Miguel Andujar first baseman or Longoria first baseman, or throw him in the outfield, or maybe he'll catch.
He could sell peanuts. Maybe he'll sell peanuts. Maybe he'll be the guy that retrieves the balls out of Covey Cove.
That's a very valuable position.
He could be the rowboat guy.
He's a ball boy.
He could be the guy that rows the boat out there.
The water ball boy.
All right. I don't know how true this is. I was driving today. I was scrolling on Twitter when I was stuck in traffic, which I hate. I love Christmas, but I hate the days leading up to it because traffic is just friggin'
it's so miserable.
It's atrocious. It should take me 10 minutes to get here. How long did it take me to get here today?
25.
Half hour? Terrible, Charles. Anyway, this is what I was saying here is that I don't know how true it is. I don't know where it came from. That Cashman said or is put out there that he wants to know by Monday where Manny Machado is going. A, do you think Cashman would put an ultimatum on Machado like that? I don't. And B, now that he's met with these three teams, where's Manny Machado going? Final say on where Manny Machado is playing baseball in 2019. What do you say, Christopher?
My heart wants to say the Yankees. I really want him here, but I've had this feeling for the last few days that the Phillies are going to get him, and he's gonna end up out there instead of in the Bronx this year. I could be wrong. I don't know how badly this guy wants to be in pinstripes. I mean, we've heard it, we know it, but at the end of the day, we know money speaks louder than anything else. And we said it earlier, the Yankees are going to get outbid, I think, by both of those teams. I think the Yankees, like I said, will come up and try and be more competitive with whatever the Phillies offer, but I don't know, man. It's like asking me if I want to go do something, but I'm going to get less money, and then all of a sudden I actually see the money in front of me. I don't know if I'm taking that money once it's offered to me over where I truly want to be.
Yeah, I think he'll end up with the Phillies. It comes down to not just the money, but what position does he really want to play long term? Because the Phillies, out of those three teams, they're the only team right now that is locked up at shortstop for the next 5 years. Segura's not a free agent, I don't think, until 2023. So if he really wants to play shortstop, it's open for the Yankees right now because Didi's not signed long term, and it's open for the White Sox because who'd you say they have playing short?
Tim Anderson.
I mean, and he's not Manny Machado.
Yeah, but he's not
he's not a bum, but he's not a solidified future.
Anderson. Before you say who you think he's going to end up with, to your point before, I'm not going to sit here and say that the Yankees can't win a World Series without Machado, but can you at least agree that if we see the tweet or whatever, it's starting to be reported that Manny Machado is signing with either the Phillies or the White Sox, that you're not going to feel extremely deflated?
No.
Really?
Not deflated.
I'm gonna feel let down a little bit.
I'm indifferent towards it. It doesn't make. I mean, yeah, it'd be great to have Manny Machado, but I'm not. I don't have my hopes set on this. It's not like a guy that, like if in 2009, like I wanted Mark Teixeira to be a Yankee. I wanted that. Like Giambi was gone. We needed a first baseman. If he would have signed with the Angels or where was he? The Orioles or wherever the hell else he was trying to go. I would have been upset over that. This is not that to me because we didn't have a first baseman going into 2009. I was a big fan of Mark Teixeira from when he came up with the Texas Rangers. Machado's Machado. He's great, but we have a shortstop. We have a third baseman.
Like during these times where there's all this built-up excitement, even if we don't necessarily need the guy, it's still a letdown emotionally. Like in our heads, we're getting excited that Manny Machado could be a Yankee in a couple weeks or a few days.
Excited that he could be a Yankee.
Oh, you're not going to be excited if Manny Machado's a New York Yankee.
I just said that I'm not going to be upset if he signs here. I see you talk to some people on Twitter where it'd be like the worst thing ever. Like the holy wars are going to start over again if Manny Machado becomes a Yankee.
You want a fun fact on that Mark Teixeira trade?
I do.
He was traded for a first-round pick to the Angels. We traded to the Angels a first-rounder. Who did the Angels then sign with that first-round pick?
Say that again?
Yankees gave away a first-round pick to the Angels.
Mike Trout.
In that.
No, they didn't trade.
It was a complimentary
compensation.
All right, but they still gave it to him.
Wow.
Mike Trout.
Major League Baseball gave it to him.
All right, but it was something that the Yankees were involved with.
Okay, so when Nick Swisher signed with the Indians, the pick that came back for the Yankees for losing Swisher became Aaron Judge.
That's your fun fact.
It's a very fun fact.
It was all right.
I thought both were equally as fun, and I'm very happy that I heard both.
Are you?
I am.
You know what the fans might be happy hearing?
What?
It's an interview with Ken Davidoff.
I'd be happy and excited to hear it.
All right, so.
Interview with Ken Davidoff brought to you by Digsies.com. Get off the bench and into the game. Digsies.com is your one-stop shop for sports betting advice. Whether your sport of choice is the NFL, NBA, NHL, or NCAA, Digsies.com has you covered. Daily, weekly, or monthly picks on every sport, 65% winners day in and day out. If you go to Digsies.com right now and enter promo code NYYST, it's no longer 10%. It is 50% off right now.
Wow.
You will get a card that will give you suggestions on the weekend bets coming up.
Do they have a card for where Machado will sign?
Probably not.
And I never gave my pick. I think he will wind up with the Yankees.
Wow.
I really do.
What odds are you giving it?
I'm going to give it
2-1.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna say 51-49, but I'm gonna put it just at
I like that
smidge.
I like that. Digsies.com is the place to go when you are ready to win. Again, use promo code NYYST for 50% off through this next week. That's Digsies.com, Digsies.com, presenting this interview with Ken Davidoff of the New York Post.
And here, the last thing we'll say about Digsies, we all know you're all broke from Christmas shopping. Get yourself a betting card.
It's like $15
and make some money.
It's $15. I've won a crazy amount using them. And the best part of Digsies also, real quick, is that if you purchase a losing card, you get a free card after that. You go back and you get a free card.
Risk-free right there.
Risk-free.
Boom. Okay.
Boom. Best $15 you'll ever spend. Here's our interview with Ken Davidoff of the New York Post.
All right, Chris and Christian of the NYY Sports Talk Podcast on with Ken Davidoff of the New York Post. You can find Ken on Twitter at Ken Davidoff. Ken, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
All right, not too bad.
Can't complain.
So in Yankee land, the big story is revolving around Manny Machado right now. Yesterday, he met with the Yankees for about 90 minutes, and then they had dinner later in the evening. For somebody that covers the team so closely, we wanted to get your take on the whole Machado recruiting process. A lot of fans speculate what goes on in these meetings when a player goes on one of these free agent tours. What would you say actually happened when Cashman and the Yankee brass sat down with Manny Machado yesterday?
I don't know what actually happened. I suspect that it was pretty boilerplate. That they just kind of show him Yankee Stadium, show him the clubhouse, show him all the facilities they have. Probably introduce him to the analytics staff, medical staff, the brain stuff, so psychology, all the resources the Yankees offer. But I can't tell you 100% that that's what went down. That's a common sense assumption.
All right. Well, if you had to put a percentage on it, what percent would you say that Manny Machado actually winds up a Yankee when this is all said and done?
Yeah, that's a great question. I will say 47%.
47? I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Ken, you wrote an article recently kind of comparing Machado and Harper, and, I don't think you really agreed with either of them, but if you were going to say one of them worked, it was Harper, and that's something we've kind of been talking about here, just because they're so left-handed desperate, especially with Didi being out this year. Any word or any speculation as to Didi's future here with the New York Yankees after 2019?
Well, Brian Cashman's on the record saying that he wants to retain Didi Gregorius long term. Really one of Cashman's best, if not his best overall trade as Yankees general manager was getting Didi from the Arizona Diamondbacks after the 2014 season. He's been a huge success. The best kind of star, really, the guy who enters the Yankee as not a star, right, and becomes one in the Yankee pinstripes in the Yankee Stadium, and that he's still a relatively young player, kind of guy the Yankees should want to retain. My hunch is that he will remain a Yankee for the long term. That they'll figure out some common ground. The injury obviously throws a monkey wrench into the timing. I think they have to wait to make sure he's okay, and I'm sure he want to make sure he's okay for his own leverage. But I do think he'll be a Yankee long term.
Ken, it's so difficult for me, and I'm just kind of sitting back and looking at everything from a distance here. It's so difficult for me to look at the big picture here and see a fit for Miguel Andujar anymore if they're going to bring Machado on. I mean, if they're going to bring him on and they're serious about extending Didi here, in my head, I just have, in my gut, I have this feeling that Miguel Andujar doesn't have a long-term future with the New York Yankees. Do you have that same type of feel?
I wouldn't call it a feeling as much as just there's only so many space spots on the field, right? I mean, Miguel Andujar has played only third base in his career. I watched him play first base for a couple of innings in a intra-squad game this past spring. But I guess possibly he could convert to first base. But it's hard to see him playing anywhere else on the field. DH is already pretty occupied with Giancarlo Stanton, who's not going anywhere. So, yeah, based on Manny Machado, common sense says that Miguel Andujar becomes a trade piece.
Speaking of trade pieces of people that the Yankees might be looking to move, Brian Cashman was very adamant that he was trying to move Sonny Gray in the offseason. I think a lot of us expected that it would have happened already. Is Sonny Gray actually going to get traded? Can Brian Cashman actually bring this guy back? And, can Sonny really show up in Tampa in February?
No, he can't. You're right. He can't show up, and Cashman can't retreat on this. But look, there's plenty of time. It's December 20th. I think pitchers and catchers report to Yankee Stadium, this time around field in Tampa, right around Valentine's Day. So that's still almost 2 months. And Cashman has been asserting that he can get value back for Sonny Gray. My best bet is that it just in minor leaguers, just prospect depth. I don't think anyone's going to be wowed by the Yankees' return on Sonny Gray, but I do think it'll be more than a salary dump.
A lot of fans have this certain feeling about the additions that Cashman made to the rotation with Paxton, bringing back Happ, even bringing back CeCe. And a lot of things that we hear is that the fans keep saying it's not enough. Do you feel, based on especially what was available, I guess I already know your answer based on that. Do you feel based on what was available to Cashman that he did enough to improve the Yankees rotation and make them a stronger team in 2019?
Yeah, I hear you on those complaints, and that's a very valid question. I wrote a column on this last week when they finalized the deal with Happ. If you had told me back on November 1st they're going to get James Paxton and Jay Happ, I would say, that's pretty good. Yeah, I think what happened is they got Paxton first, and then you had the idea that they could get Paxton and Patrick Corbin. Wow, then you're getting two guys with ace-like stuff. That's a clear upgrade. So now what they got is Paxton and Happ, which is not as good. Bottom line is, their rotation is improved from what's, assuming they all stay healthy, their opening day 2019 rotation will be stronger than their opening day 2018 rotation.
One last thing from me on the rotation here. CC Sabathia, do you expect him to finish 2019 in the rotation? Does he have enough gas left in the tank where he's still pitching, especially if the Yankees are playing meaningful games in September?
I do, yeah. I mean, CC Sabathia, obviously the last game against the Red Sox didn't go well, but I actually put more of the blame on Aaron Boone for not getting him out of there sooner.
I agree.
But CC Sabathia had a very solid year for the Yankees, and he's been very good now for the last 3 years, after that 3-year blue period, if you will, 2013 through 15, which really was not good. He really obviously rehabilitated, turned around his career, and now he's saying this is it. Even if CC gives the Yankees 100 innings of the quality that he had in 2018, he's worth the money.
Ken, we say it all the time. It's not even what he does on the field. It's his veteran presence in the clubhouse. And people talk about CC Sabathia like he was some bum last year. I can't even think of a fifth starter on any other team that did what he did last season coming into this year.
The one team that comes to mind, I'm just trying to think of the Mets, with DeGrom, Syndergaard, Matz, Wheeler, Vargas. No, I mean, CC was better than Vargas. So, I don't want to waste too much of our time.
I think many of them were better than Vargas.
I think that's a great point. Yeah, I mean, CC probably, if you draw up the Yankees 2019, I think it's pretty clear you don't draw him up starting a playoff game, right? You have Severino, Paxton, Happ, and Tanaka in some order. And then CC's your long man. But if you're talking about the grind of 162 games and having CC making 20 to 25 starts, I think that makes you a better team.
Ken, one last question. We'll let you get off here. Going into the last two seasons, I'd say the most confident aspect as fans, as anyone looking closely at this team, the most confident department was the bullpen. Still very strong, but we do have a few holes there. Where do you see the Yankees looking to fill those holes and to kind of solidify the bullpen?
In the bullpen, the progression of the market to me has been very interesting. It's been very slow, the bullpen market. Mets signed Familia, Dodgers signed Joe Kelly, but really the big names are still out there. Kimbrel, Robertson, Britton, Ottavino, and I think the Yankees wind up with two top flight guys. Let's say Ottavino and possibly even Britton, unless they go crazy on Manny and Machado, and then they have fewer dollars to spend on their bullpen. But I think 53% chance the Yankees don't sign Manny, as I mentioned earlier. So I think it's likely they sign two top flight bullpen guys, with the idea also that Aroldis Chapman could opt out after next season.
That's an excellent point that I don't think a lot of fans really think about. That Britton says he wants closer money, and the Yankees could give it to him as insurance that Chapman does opt out. And I don't know how you feel, but I personally don't think we saw the best of Zach Britton last year. That I think he was still trying to work his way back from all the injuries that held him back the last couple seasons. Yeah,
I mean, specifically the Achilles injury that cost him the first half of virtually the first half of the 2018 season. Yeah, that first month with the Yankees was just him working through. It was like an extended spring training. But what you saw in September, you saw how good this guy can be. And I would pay him closer money just to give you that coverage. If Chapman opts out, if Chapman doesn't opt out, you just have a even better bullpen.
Well, Ken, we want to thank you very much for spending a few minutes with us here so close to the Christmas holiday. You can find Ken on Twitter at Ken Davidoff. He writes for the New York Post, so you can pick up the Post and read his columns on the New York Yankees. Ken, thanks for joining us, and have a very happy holiday.
Thanks, Ken.
Happy holidays, guys.
All right, so Ken was nice enough to join us there for a few minutes. Sure, he's a busy guy with Christmas coming up. What do you got planned coming up here a couple of days before Christmas?
Let me tell you something. You want to know what I have planned? Right when we get done here, a little Christmas shopping. That's what kind of a procrastinator I am. And then after that, I don't know. I'm going to play it by ear. Maybe a little Home Depot, Bed Bath & Beyond. don't know if I have time.
Can you get me a Home Depot gift card while you're at Home Depot?
Do you need one?
I actually do.
What do you need a Home Depot gift card for? Are you building me something?
No, my sister and her husband just bought a house, so I'm going to get them a Home Depot gift card for Christmas.
So I'm going to give it to you, and you're going to then give it to them. I'm going to get you a gift card to Home Depot, and then you're going to gift it to them. Is that what you're telling me?
He's going to buy something with that.
No, he just said I'm going to give them a Home Depot gift card.
Why can he not follow this? You're going to Home Depot. Get me the gift card so I don't have to go to Home Depot.
Right. What I'm saying is I'll get you a Home Depot gift card for Christmas, but then you're going to then take that gift card and just give it to them.
No, you can give me the gift card and I will give you money for it. I don't understand why this is so hard for you to understand.
I thought you wanted me to gift it to you. Then you could then re-gift it to someone else.
I mean, if that's the route you want to go, if you want to hand me a free,
I'd prefer that.
I'll re-gift something to my sister. I don't care.
That. I'd prefer that. Yeah.
Oh man.
You know what? I'll tell you this.
That's a shitty brotherly thing to do.
Whatever. I miss not living with my sister at Christmas time.
Really?
My sister is an amazing baker. Amazing.
So that's the only reason why you miss it. It's not like the family aspect of it. It's just that she's an amazing baker.
Because honestly, we haven't seen each other regularly probably since she started college, which was 15 years ago now.
Do you want to talk about it?
I'll bake you some cookies if.
Are you sad?
I'm telling you right now,
Ryan.
No, you can't. No, because here's the crazy thing about my sister. Right, if she turned sideways, you wouldn't be able to see her. She's skinny as a rail, but cookies, cakes, anything. I don't even think she had a piece of wedding cake at her own wedding. That's how crazy she is.
But she can bake them.
Bake them. Won't eat them, but bakes them. My favorite is she makes these. Peanut butter cookies.
Oh, I love peanut butter cookies.
And she puts
with
a
the Reese's on top
cup in the middle.
God.
And when they come, she'll always make, even though after we've been married, moved out of the house and everything, she'll always make them for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're not the same after, because I don't see her for 2 or 3 days after until she cooks them. They're not the same.
I'm glad you're getting this off your
gotta
chest.
come out
fresh
out of the oven when the chocolate's a little melty, the peanut butter is warm.
I'm glad you're getting this off your chest. I could tell it was bothering you for a long time.
I want these cookies.
You wanted me to tell you something about my brother? Since we're talking about siblings,
sure.
Never cooked me a thing in his life. Never baked anything for me.
Chris.
What do you have to say about your brother?
He's a terrible brother for just saying I don't bake cookies for him.
I don't miss my sister from December 20th.
That's the Christian I love. There he is.
Or from January 1st to like December 20th. I don't miss her at all. But
December 21st.
December 21st, when it's cookie time, I'm like, where?
Let's get her on the horn real quick. I want you to tell her that you miss her and love her.
No, because I don't ever want her to know that side of me.
And tell her that I would like some of those peanut butter. Fresh though.
Stat Guy Rye.
Tell her to make a batch special for NYYST.
No. Yeah. If she makes a whole batch, you won't see one cookie.
That's messed up.
We go eat the donuts that I brought.
I don't like donuts.
Well, that's too bad because that's all you're getting.
Thanks.
So, what are the Yankees getting? And this is something I asked earlier, right? Ken wrote an article. He seems to make it seem like if the Yankees are going to spend this type of money, it should be on Bryce Harper. If for whatever reason that the Yankees don't sign Machado, and the reports are true that Cashman's not interested in Harper, does he then feel the need to still make that splash and change his opinion on Bryce Harper?
Funny you brought that up because I actually meant to ask you the same question. It popped into my head before and I got sidetracked as normal. I don't know. I would hope he would at least revisit that option and at least see what it would take and then go from there. Because you got to imagine at this point, I mean, we're talking beginning of the offseason, Harper was offered a $300 million deal, and that wasn't good enough for him. But now, if the Nationals turn around in a few weeks and offer him the same deal, he's probably taking it.
Nah.
I'm telling you right now, if he's going to end up anywhere, I think it's going to be with the Nationals, and I think it's going to be that $300 million deal.
They would have to come up from that. I think personally, this is just
out of respect.
Speculating here is that part of it maybe he wants change of scenery, And if he already said no to 300, he can't go back to 300 from them. He's got to get.
All right, so out of like a respect of like just his personal, appearance and
it could be a pride
his
thing.
value.
And there was no opt-outs in that contract. They would have to, in the contract that he was offered, there was no opt-outs.
So maybe they spice it up a little.
So all these long-term contracts have opt-out clauses.
So maybe they spice it up a little, but offer him the same money, and then he can say once they added that, I was ready to go. Instead of, hey, I waited around and no one offered me anything else, and now I'm back in Washington.
If he's sitting there late January where he hasn't gotten a contract that he likes, he's going to be a Yankee. Because the Yankees are just going to swoop right in.
That's assuming they don't get Machado. Or are you saying even with?
Screw it. If Bryce Harper's sitting there in late January and he's unhappy with anything, Brian Cashman's going to make a phone call and be like, look, I got some money. I can spend a little money here.
There's actually still a little part of me, and I think it's just the fan in me, other than, not so much of actual realistic thought. Because they didn't sign Corbin, there's still a part of me that thinks that Cashman's going to shock the world and get both Machado and Harper this year. But that's not going to happen. It's not. But I want to believe it will.
See, I think that Harper is much more of a need for the Yankees. You can't sell me on Brett Gardner for 140 games.
Right.
You can't sell me on Clint Frazier's health. You can't sell me that Jacoby Ellsbury will ever make it up north this year, because I'm sure this is what's going to happen with Jacoby Ellsbury. Tell me if I'm incorrect here, right? He's going to play the entire spring training schedule. The day before the Yankees are set to break camp, he's going to pull a hamstring.
Yes.
Guaranteed. He's going to pull a hamstring, and Boone's going to be like, well, the last grounder there, you didn't see, you didn't see it? You didn't see it, guys?
And then he'll be due to come back the last week of April, and he'll tweak his calf.
I'll tell you what. If Jacoby Ellsbury, just to make it a little bit better for you guys, for our fans out there, listeners, followers, whatever, just to make it a little bit better, if Jacoby Ellsbury is on this opening day roster, I promise you, if he is, I will get a tattoo of our logo anywhere you want. That's appropriate for video because I want it to be filmed and put on Twitter.
I want it right underneath your other tattoo.
Oh my God, that's the worst.
No, you can show your ass.
I'll show a little ass.
You can do.
I gotta shave. I gotta shave.
You can do a butt cheek.
I'll do a little top butt cheek if you want.
I don't want.
I will get.
I think that's the most.
I will get our logo, the NYYST, logo that we use. I will get that tattooed on me if Jacoby Ellsbury is on the opening day roster for the New York Yankees.
Wow, just on the opening day roster.
Just on the opening day roster.
You sure?
Man. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Deal.
I'm ready. Deal.
Okay.
That's it.
Your ass.
Stupid deal, bro.
Why are you going right for the ass?
Because
are you an ass man?
No, I'm. First of all, let's not get into that. But you want to make it something that will kind of, I don't know, if shame is the right word, or make it a real bet, like on your arm, anywhere. That's.
I want people who listen to us and follow us to be like, if they wake up on opening day and Jacoby Ellsbury's on the roster, like I'm talking 25 man, has to be either in the dugout or playing. I want them to be like, oh my God, but wait, this is still a great day because now Chris is going to have to get a tattoo on his ass.
All right, it's your ass.
Sure, like I said, it's your butt.
All right.
Maybe Ellsbury will have like the reverse Greg Bird season, where like last year we thought Bird was going to be awesome and be a major presence in the lineup. This year we just totally see zero potential in Ellsbury. Who knows? Maybe he hits 300.
Doubt it.
Greg Bird.
The only way Ellsbury hits 300 next year is if he has 10 at-bats and he has 3 hits.
That's 10 more at-bats than I honestly
want to see
him having next year. All right, last thing real quick. Didi Gregorius.
He's feeling good.
We asked Ken about it, what, the Yankees' plans are for him long-term. He reiterated what Cashman already said, that, it's somebody he'd like to lock up. And that's why I got to personally believe, and you can tell me maybe if I'm being off base here, that he is in the Yankees' plans long-term, because with the injury, you don't know when he's coming back. He could hopefully only miss 2 months. He could also miss 4 months. You know, how long was Aaron Judge supposed to be out last year? How long did Aaron Judge wind up?
He was gone for 6 months, it felt like.
Right? So you don't know. You don't know how he's going to rehab and feel when he comes back.
Especially with that kind of surgery.
And this is the last year of his arbitration. The Yankees could have easily non-tendered him, which would have closed the book on him, but they didn't. They're offering him a contract this year, which to me shows that this is somebody they want beyond 2019.
I agree with you because of who it is, but I don't necessarily think. I agree with you that it shows they respect him and want him here, but I can't necessarily sit here and say just because they tendered his contract, that means they want him long term. I think all it means right now is that they're not going to let a guy like Didi, who came here and filled Derek Jeter's shoes almost effortlessly, became a fan favorite who everyone loves. They're not going to let a guy like that, you know, just walk by non-tendering him and end his run here with the New York Yankees in that way.
Well, if he's going to be out till August, you can easily do it, because how are you going to justify giving him the raise that he's going to deserve in arbitration for him to play for you for 2 months?
It's not necessarily the realistic aspect of it that you have to look at, where, yeah, that could have been very easily done and you could have washed your hands of it. It's a matter of who it is. And you're just not going to do that to a person. The Yankees aren't going to do that to a guy who has done what he's done here for the last, you know, what has it been, 4 years?
Yeah, but if he's not going to play this year, he's only going to give you 20% of the season.
Doesn't
what are you
matter.
going to pay the guy $15 million?
It doesn't matter. He's
for?
earned that. That's
where
he's earned
you
that.
know what, the guys have earned things. Like Gardy's earned this last tour with the Yankees. CeCe's earned it, because they're going to be there at the beginning of the season to give you hopefully whatever it is you want out of them. But you're looking at a guy that was arbitration eligible, and he might only play 40 games this year. You don't know. You can't give me nobody can give you a definitive answer what he's going to play this year.
No.
So to give, you know, this guy's going to, what did he make, $8 million last year for the type of player that he's in arbitration? He's going to get what, 12, 13, $15 million next year? You're going to pay that for 40 games?
Here's another reason why you're going to do it right now, because we're talking, and at least me in my head, I'm saying all this like Manny Machado's a Yankee. What if you don't get Manny Machado? And then what? You're just not going to, you weren't going to tender Didi Gregorius just because he's only going to be here for 2 months?
Well, at that point, guess what? There's no way that Manny Machado now becomes a need for the Yankees, and the way they approach signing him in free agency changes.
I don't know that. I think that they did this with Didi out of respect and out of being secured that they have this guy if they don't sign Machado. But now that they did that with Didi, now if you don't get Machado, you just turn around and you extend Didi. Whether you're going to do it or not, you're definitely going to do it if you don't get Machado. And that's it. You said it yourself. They don't need Machado. But if you get him, Didi might be that odd man out after this season.
I can't. I don't see it.
I don't either. I see it still being Andujar.
Poor Miguel Andujar. The guy came up here and he literally carried the Yankees for most of the season last year and
led the team.
You know, it's Christmas. Can't you be nicer to Miguel Andujar?
Yeah, that's got to be rough.
Huh, Chris?
Especially
It's Christmas. You can't be nicer to Miguel Andujar? You are the Grinch.
I love Miguel Andujar.
No, you don't. You want to trade him.
No, I don't want to trade him.
You want to trade him. Everybody.
I don't want to trade him.
He said it, right?
But
he said it.
Every day he said
it. But I'm not going to sit here and be upset if he gets traded for a big starting pitcher. That's all.
That doesn't really exist right now.
Whatever.
Could. Still hearing Kluber is actually being thrown around.
Yeah, to all National League teams. I think that is really sailed on the Yankees.
Oh yeah, it's all National League.
I wouldn't be so sure on that. That's the kind of move that if Machado's a Yankee by the end of this week, next week, whatever, that you could see Cashman swooping in and then landing Corey Kluber.
Okay. So if the Indians want to make it to the postseason next year, which is still their plan, why are they trading Corey Kluber to the Yankees?
I don't know.
Do you think they want to see Corey Kluber on the Yankees and face him in the American League Division Series?
They don't make very wise decisions, in my opinion, anyway. So how do I know?
Corey Kluber.
Yeah, that sounds like an Indians move to me.
What?
doing that, what you just said.
I think the Indians have made some great moves.
Yeah, I think they did a good job in the offseason.
Didn't you just rip them the other day?
No, I commended them.
Oh.
I said that they made some great moves this offseason.
Sorry.
And they made arguably the best contract of the last 6 years with Jose Ramirez.
You think?
Yeah, that contract is ridiculous. That and the Salvador Perez Kansas City Royals contract, but this one trumps that.
Real quick, who was the guy that we were shocked was in the minor leagues last year?
Eric Vaughn.
No.
Parker Bridwell?
No. Who was the guy that had an amazing 2017 and then he spent some of the time last year? No, a position player.
Oh, all right.
On the Indians. Was it Carlos? What's his name, man?
I don't know. I don't know where you're going.
It was the same time.
Tyler Naquin?
Oh, sorry. It was the Twins. What was that? Who was that guy?
Miguel Sano.
No, not Sano.
Yes, it was him.
They called Sano up.
He spent a lot of time in the minor leagues last year.
Just forget it.
Buxton? Byron Buxton?
No, it was a big name that you would have been shocked got sent down.
Yeah, Miguel Sano.
No,
that was the shock in Minnesota. At least
that was
whatever.
I mean, that's the guy you're thinking of.
Whatever.
I don't know.
Why are you even here? Because first of all, you did your last show on Friday. Like you're done. You're done for the whole year.
I said that was my last show ever. Fine. I'll just leave.
No, I thought Francesa stepped in.
Oh, you're talking to Mike. Yeah, no, I'm going on the break. I'm gonna go to Cabo. I like spending Christmas in warm weather. Okay, me and Mink. I get to come to Cabo with you, boss.
Okay. Yes. You are right, Miguel Sano.
Yeah.
I was thinking of the guy the Nationals called up. I thought that's who you were saying. No, get Parker Bridwell out of your mind.
Who, Soto?
Soto, that's who I thought you guys were saying.
Soto.
Yes, Sano.
Wow,
and they sent his ass all the way down to single A.
Single A ball. Yeah. Striking out too much.
Good job getting those two mixed up.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's getting late. I got a Christmas shop.
Really? You're going out now?
Yes.
You got to go to Target?
Yeah. It's going to be miserable.
Okay.
Miserable.
All right. Well, speaking of Christmas, this will be our last episode before Christmas. So we want to extend, if you celebrate Christmas, a very Merry Christmas to you and your family. Thank you for your support throughout the year. The only way we will record again before Christmas is if Manny Machado signs with the Yankees before Sunday.
Okay. Deal. What if he signs on Christmas? We're doing it.
Christmas pod.
We can record on Wednesday. I think it can wait. It's Christmas.
What about this? What about like 1 a.m. after all family outings are done? We get it done and get it out hot and fresh for Wednesday morning.
We'll talk about it.
Deal. Or we could just record it now. We could have 2 shows.
True. Right? Now no one will ever know.
We could do 3. We could do 1 for him going to the Phillies, the White Sox, and the Yankees.
That's smart. We should start doing that.
Yeah. We break news stories like that. We said it 3 days before it even happened, people.
Okay, we reported it first, okay? We did our show about Manny Machado signing with the Yankees 5 days before it happened.
News cred to NYYST. Catching up on my cred.
Here.
All right, so we will be back, barring anything crazy, we'll be back midweek next week after the Christmas holiday. We'll catch up on what's going on. We'll see how Chris ruined Christmas for everybody because he's the Grinch. But not like the good Grinch where like he becomes the hero of Christmas at the end of the movie. Where like he
gives all the gifts back.
Yeah, but like where he just is like, I'm the Grinch. I'm not turning baby face. I'm just gonna stay a heel the whole time.
Maybe I will.
Maybe you. What do you mean? Maybe I think it's a foregone conclusion.
It's funny because I've been extra joyful this episode and trying to kill you with kindness, and you just continue to try and put me down.
Because I see through the facade.
So it shows everybody your true personality.
I have my glasses today, so I see better. I can see through the facade.
Maybe they should be rose-colored. Okay.
They should be green, like a Christmas tree, and the Grinch. Remember the episode of How I Met Your Mother, where they... What word do you think
Are you being an asshole right now? I just told you I got to go Christmas shopping, and you just continue to go.
Oh, it's our last episode before Christmas.
So you're going to miss me.
Huh?
You're going to miss me is what you're telling me.
No, a week away from you is the best present I could ever have.
That's really nice.
All right, so Chris wants to go Christmas shop. I'm sure he's going to find great presents at Target right now.
I know I'm going to buy you at Target. A pile of shit. That's what I'm going to buy you.
You know what? I'm taking my donuts home with me.
Good.
You know what? When your kids see me leave with the donuts and say, blame your father for being a dick.
Good.
All right?
That's great. Teach my son. He's just starting to say all his words.
Yeah.
It's really great.
Well, leave him alone with me for an hour.
Daddy, dick. That's great.
Okay?
Uh-huh.
All right, so we'll be back after Christmas. We want to, again, extend Merry Christmas to you and your family. If you are a non-Christmas person, if you have other beliefs, well, I'm sure you probably won't be working Tuesday, so just enjoy
it, baby.
Enjoy a nice day off.
Soak it in.
If you want to give NYY Sports Talk a Christmas present, you can go to iTunes and leave us a rating and review.
I like that.
Or you could just buy me something.
Wow, greedy. Greedy, putting yourself first.
Why don't you buy your brother a nice present this year?
I know what I'm gonna get him.
You were really mean to him.
I know what I'm gonna get him.
Yeah, like actually, both of you were really mean to me today, and
well, I'm still mad about the train spot when he was telling you not to help me. So
yeah,
you guys gotta just get over that. I'm a different person when I am on a train.
That train changed you, Ryan.
Changed who I
really
am.
Did. All right. So thank you for listening to episode 92 of the NYY Sports Talk podcast. Chris, even though you are the Grinch, Merry Christmas. Ryan.
You too, guys.
Ryan, we'll see how things go, how I'm feeling after the holiday.
Right.
Maybe
Fair.
you will have to go back to the kids' table.
We'll set up another table. I'll gladly sit by myself in a corner.
But Ryan, have a Merry Christmas.
You too, Christian.
And everybody out there, have a very Merry Christmas. And thank you for listening to this podcast. And Stat Guy Ryan, your parting words.
Go Yanks.
Chris. Ho, ho, ho. Say goodbye.